family, and he had sent the text out at 4:15 that I was complete. It's now 4:55 and I am complete. And so basically what I'm doing now is just what they call laboring down. So basically just letting my body do the work for a little bit without me pushing, so that I don't have to push for a long time. But he'll probably be here within the next couple hours. Sorry that I'm shaking so much. It's just I'm shaky. But they said that they're gonna come in and do some practice pushes soon, just to see what happens with that. So yeah, that's kind of the update from now. Everything's been progressing really freaking fast. Like, I feel like there was only like, what, 20 minutes in between being checked at 7 to 8 and then being complete. I'm not really sure how I am with my time, but that's kind of what it felt like. They had changed positions, or had me change positions, and I was laying on my right side, and I pretty much couldn't get any relief doing that. It was so painful on my stomach the whole time. The resident actually even talked about giving me Pitocin because she said that my contractions were slowing down. But then, like, pretty much right after that, they started going fast again, so, or whatever the terminology is, I don't know. They think that my water broke probably around 2. It was just like a really like slow leak, and they had checked me and they didn't feel anything, but there was just like not a ton of fluid. So they had changed positions, or had me change positions, and I was laying on my right side, and I pretty much couldn't get any relief doing that. It was so painful on my stomach the whole time. The resident actually even talked about giving me Pitocin because she said that my contractions were slowing down. But then, like, pretty much right after that, they started going fast again. So Matt's being a trooper and helping me. That was a bad angle. But he's been helping me, and we're just like watching movies and stuff. And yeah, I haven't eaten all day, so I'm freaking hungry. Matt's had like 20 granola bars because we brought granola bars. That's the only thing we brought to eat. So, anyways, and then at 5:30, we started doing practice pushes. So practice pushes, or practice pushing, is basically like you're in labor, but the team of people aren't in there. It's, you know, he's not as close to being born, or he's close to being born, but he's not close enough where you need the team in there. So it's basically just the nurse and you. Sometimes I had the resident in there as well, who was basically like my doctor for my labor. And we did practice pushes at 5:30. I don't feel like I did very many practice pushes before they decided to call the team in. I think I did maybe 2 or 3, and they said, let's get the team in here. And then he was born at 6:57. So that was my whole day of labor. I'm going to add now a couple little details of what else had been going on within that time. I want to say it was around the time that I was maybe doing practice pushes, or maybe a little bit before that. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. But they had checked my temperature, and I had a temperature of 100.8, which is obviously a high temp. And they checked it again, I want to say like within a half an hour or an hour, I can't really remember, but they had checked it again and it was still high. So at that point they decided that they wanted to do a blood draw to check on my white blood count. My white blood count came back high, and so that meant that there was a possible infection, and that he needed to go to the special care unit, which was really crappy. I kind of have touched on this in some of my other videos, but he had to go to the special care unit for his first 24 hours of life, which was not in my room, and obviously, but I'm just trying to say, you know, that he was not in our room with us for his first 24 hours, which meant we needed to go down to the special care unit if we ever wanted to see him, which we obviously did the whole time we were there. I didn't ever want to leave him, but that kind of made our stay a little bit more hectic, because I had to, you know, walk down there every time we needed to feed him, and that included, you know, throughout the night we needed to walk down there every 3 hours, you know, to feed him and things like that. So that made things a little bit tougher on, I think, all of us, but thankfully there was no infection. He was completely fine. Basically, he just needed to be down there to get antibiotics, so he had an IV. I had to do those fluids as well. I did mine. Mine only, you know, took a couple hours to complete mine. His took, you know, the full 24 hours. They needed to have time in between. But anyway, so that was his first 24 hours of life. So sad. He had to be in the special care unit away from us. Also, during my labor, and I want to say this was towards the end as well, they were having problems finding his heart rate. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you would know that the last 2 weeks that he was in utero, is that what you call it when they're still inside you? I don't know. His heart rate was really low. It was like in the, between like 120s and 130s. But there was a time where they had a hard time determining the difference between my heart rate and his heart rate. They had to, while he was still inside of me, they stuck a, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a little monitor under his scalp. So through his skin, under his scalp, while he was still inside me. So when he first came out, he did have like a little spot on the top of his head, but he doesn't anymore. But I would say overall, I had a really good experience. I mean, there's a lot of things kind of looking back that I think that was not a good experience, but I remember kind of going through it. I think I was just maybe really numb. I don't know. Because looking back, there's things that I think about that happened that kind of make me sad. When he got sent to the special care unit, Matt went with, and that was like within 20 minutes of him being born. So within 20 minutes, I had gone through labor, given birth, and 20 minutes later, my baby was gone, you know, from the room. I shouldn't say that because it really could be way worse. I'm so lucky that everything is fine, but, you know, he wasn't in the room with me. I wasn't holding him anymore. He wasn't in my tummy anymore, and now my husband wasn't there anymore, and it was just me in this room with a nurse, you know, that was... You know, he was born at 7, so it was a brand new nurse. I didn't know this nurse, and, you know, she didn't really know anything about my labor because she had just got there, so she was just trying to get herself updated, and, you know, those kind of things, looking back, make me sad that that was the way that it was. I'm glad that my husband went with. I told him to go with Charlie. I wanted him to go with him, you know, to get his IV and everything like that. I felt okay, you know, I didn't cry. I felt good. I knew he was in good hands. I knew he was being taken care of. I knew I was being taken care of, you know, so, you know, I didn't feel those emotions, which maybe that was, you know, a godsend that I didn't feel those emotions, but I didn't. I felt good. But looking back, those kind of things do make me feel kind of sad. But we're very, very lucky. Everything turned out the way that it did. He's like crazy waking up. Everything else like went really well. As far as pain, I mean, I was really only in pain right there at the very beginning. After that was great. I didn't feel any pain when I was pushing or anything like that. But yeah, so that is my story of how this little guy came into the world. I'm sure there's lots of people that are watching this who are preparing to, you know, have labor soon or give birth soon. I know I did a lot of that when I was pregnant. I was constantly watching, you know, different pregnancy vlogs or, you know, labor and delivery stories because I wanted to prepare myself as much as I could. Just know that everybody has different experiences. Just be open. Definitely a lot of things on my birth plan did not go the way that I wanted them to. So just be open as much as you can to that. Trust the medical professionals. know that they're doing everything they can to keep you and the baby safe. So if you are going to be giving birth soon, good luck. I'm so excited for you to meet your little babe. It's so much fun. So then pretty soon you'll have a cute little baby like him, like my baby Charlie. So anyways, that is my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in my next video.